London, 1887. A city cloaked in fog and laced with opulence and grime alike. It was a time of chandeliers and cobblestone, of gaslight and growing unrest. And amidst it all, in the heart of the city, lived a man by the name of Theodore Bellamy. Theodore was not a man of extravagant wealth, nor of humble living. He was comfortably nestled in the upper middle class, an entrepreneur of textiles. His family, his younger sister, a widowed aunt, and her teenage son were close, tight-knit, and thriving under his roof. The world outside, that was another story. A string of unsolved murders had gripped London's East End. Bodies mutilated, faces unrecognizable. His name, the Orator, for he always left behind poetic phrases written in blood, but Theodore paid it no mind. After all, chaos always swirled around those who had built a wall of privilege to keep it at bay. Until one night, everything changed. It was a Thursday evening at the Globe. The play was forgettable. She was ushering guests with grace, her auburn hair tucked beneath a modest bonnet, her smile brighter than the stage lights. Her name was Eva, and to Theodore, it was love at first sight. They spoke briefly in the foyer. By week's end, he'd sent her roses. By month's end, they were married. She moved into his finely adorned home near Kensington. Eva was the very picture of elegance, charming his son, making tea for his sister, and even arranging charity dinners for orphans. She said little of her past, and when asked about her part-time job, she waved it off, just helping a friend archive police reports. Theodore, ever trusting, never pressed, but London's bloodletting continued. The Orator's list grew, and then one autumn morning tragedy breached Theodore's home. His sister, Mary, was found dead in an alleyway. The signature left behind, a limerick etched in blood on the stone beside her. Sister of gold with secrets untold, now lies where the air is bitter and cold. Grief hollowed Theodore. He staggered through the days, desperate for answers. But police shrugged. Just another name on the Orator's list. Eva comforted him gently, held his hand with uncanny calm. Weeks passed. Then another family friend, a man named Whitaker, turned up dead. Then the grocer Theodore had known since youth. One evening, drunk on suspicion and gin, Theodore stumbled upon a slip of parchment in Eva's desk drawer, written in the same meter as the Orator's verse, and names of people he knew, some already dead, others still breathing, including his own 6-year-old cousin. Theodore followed her that night, through the damp London streets, to an abandoned warehouse on the river's edge. There, he watched, through cracked glass, as Eva met a cloaked man, and handed him a list. They kissed. She laughed. "Next one's the boy. He's old enough now. No witnesses left." The man turned. Pale eyes, scarred lip, a face that haunted headlines. Theodore confronted Eva as she returned home. She never denied a thing. Instead, she smiled. "You were just the shell I needed. Money, a name, but it was never about love, only art, only cleansing." She reached for something, perhaps a knife. Theodore, trembling, reached faster. One gunshot, he fell. Silence followed, and in that silence he heard the ticking of the grandfather clock, the distant laughter of his little cousin upstairs, the crumbling of everything he knew. 2 nights later, Theodore walked into Scotland Yard. He confessed to murder. He told them the truth, but they didn't believe a word about Eva being the Orator's accomplice. They buried her as a beloved philanthropist, a tragic victim of a mad husband's breakdown. Theodore sat alone in his cell. He wrote one final poem, a short, somber verse. "In love I found my darkest fright. In death I found my only light." That night he hanged himself with his own suspenders. They buried him in an unmarked grave, and the orator, he was never seen again. Some stories are told by gaslight, soft, romantic, filtered through fog, but others, they are written in blood, and remembered by no one except the walls of London, which still whisper names in the night. And so ended the story of Theodore Bellamy, a man who built a life of comfort and decency, only to be betrayed by the very heart he gave away. He was not killed by the serial murderer stalking the streets of London. He was destroyed by love, weaponized, twisted, and hidden behind a wedding veil. In a time when blood ran beneath cobblestone and poetry masked horror, Theodore's final act was not justice, but despair. A man who loved too blindly, a husband who trusted too deeply, and a soul who could not live with what he learned. The orator vanished. Ava's secrets died with her, in whispers, in pages left unread, and in the quiet tragedy of one man's ruined world. Some monsters hide in the shadows, others smile at us.